Hello and welcome to the daily motivation and inspirational message. So we're going to go ahead and check out what your daily motivation, inspiration, and lesson is for the next 24 hours, okay? So just letting you guys know, this is a timeless. So that means that it's for whenever you find this, okay? It's the next 24 hours. Now, I do channel messages, so sometimes I will just let you know, I'll just stop or I'll be shuffling or something, and then I just will start speaking about whatever message I may be channeling. So when that happens, I do just, do that. And sometimes they're figurative, sometimes it is literal. So take it as it resonates, since this is a collective daily message and inspiration, okay? Thank you. Now let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So today is a good day. I think every day is a good day, though. I think every day is a good day. Every day is a good day to grow. Every day is a good day to grow. The garden is looking good in the back too. Starting to see more leaves come out. All right, you guys. I'm seeing a man behind the wheel. He is driving, and I'm watching him this time. This time it looks like I'm watching somebody driving, and it looks like I'm watching from the front, like where the rear view mirror is where I'm at watching this guy drive. So, this is talking about having a front seat in something. Front seat to something. And determination. So you may be really determined to complete something today. We have here for motivation, we have, how many times have we caused ourselves pain because we failed to pause and think? How would my best self view and respond to this situation? So, like I said, I was seeing from the rear view mirror, the man that's sitting and driving, okay? This is talking about, having to look at yourself and how you can respond. Hi, Deepak. And looking at yourself, how would you best respond to a situation, okay? The mirror that I seen in my vision and the driving, the driver, it's about reflecting on yourself and how you could drive a situation. Where are you taking a situation? Are you taking it into a positive place? Because I feel like it's, the man is definitely, he's definitely focused on just driving. So where are you putting your focus? Where are you putting your focus? And when you respond to somebody, how are you responding to them? Because I'm looking from the mirror, the rear view mirror. So it's talking to me about when you're like, oh, in hindsight, I think maybe I should have said, it's like that. So it's saying, to pause and think. Within the next 24 hours, you may be called to a situation that may benefit you most if you pause and think before you react, or pause and think before you talk, before you make any moves. This is about thinking things through, okay? Now we have our positive power thought cards from Louise Hay. We are looking for what kind of positivity for the next 24 hours. What positivity for the next 24? I see a man reading a newspaper. Scrutiny scrutiny. We had this a few days ago too. Someone scrutinizing. The scrutiny. This is somebody learning something and looking at it with a keen eye. Because I feel like when he's looking at the newspaper with focus. There's no like, this is what I think of it. There's no like opinion. He's just like, let me see, let me read this. It's like that, like, it's like a lot of being very keen. Okay, so right here we have, I trust the process of life. There is a rhythm and flow to life, and I am part of it. Life supports me and brings to me only good and positive experiences. I trust the process of life to bring me my highest good. Okay? A lot of you are people who look at a situation and instead of, you look with a keen eye as opposed to critical. It may come across as critical to some people. You may be people that seem a little critical or seem a little, but really you like to look at things. You like to read things, or you like to figure it out. Okay? This is saying that you always trust that there's some sort of lesson, that you always trust that there's always something to gain, okay? And now the positive power thought card for today, I feel like this is all about being able to trust yourself, that you can pause and reflect. And when you pause and reflect, take the thought that comes to mind of how to apply to that situation, what you're going to do to resolve a situation, or what you're going to do to talk about a situation. So whatever it is, I feel like you just need to take a moment, pause, think about it, and then the first thing that comes to mind, like, you need to trust yourself enough that you will be having the right answer in something. When you're looking at it, I feel like some of you guys is looking from a place of past. Like maybe you've made a past mistake and now you're trying to go about the same situation in a new approach. So it's like looking back and going, okay, now this time I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop myself and I'm going to think how I'm going to do it differently. It's approaching something with a new it's a new energy about it. It's taking a moment to reflect on what energy you want to bring this time. This time. I feel like that. This time. What are you going to do this time? And it's saying to trust yourself and trust that this time, if it works out or it doesn't work out, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to learn, you may be trying to study something and you're trying and you're trying and trying and you don't really get it. It's kind of like, look at how many times you end up going, I'm not going to try. I'm just not going to try because it's just not going to work out. And instead of doing that, hi, good morning, it's evening over here. So how many times you look at something and instead of looking at it as, I failed, I can't do it again, it's looking at it and going, you know what? I trust that I have the answer. I trust that I can obtain this goal. It could be a goal in business. It could be a goal in learning something. It can also be a goal in like obtaining something or somebody, okay? And so when you take this new approach that you're going to be coming up with, reflect on it so that your past lessons will be able to serve the purpose that they are there for. Those past lessons are specifically there for a moment like this. Your past lessons are here for moments like this. It's going to be different for everyone when it comes to whatever lesson that was. And, you know, it may be even like to do with a personality trait. It could have anything to do, anything. It's definitely, it's something that you do. It's something you do. It could be positive. It could be negative. Because I'm seeing everybody with the same, in the same sense, because it's collective. So it's kind of like where I have to figure out how to explain it where you guys could get the most out of this lesson. I feel like it's like what you view things as, where you see things going, and you take them into a certain spot based on however you think about it. So let's say you're learning something, and every time you try to learn something, you notice that like 2 weeks in you give up. Or you notice that like every time you try out a relationship, as soon as it gets like deep, you back out. Or maybe it's something to do with maybe it has something to do with career. Every time you start a new career, you notice like, you know, a month in, you're quitting the job or something. It's like something like that. It's some kind of pattern that it's saying you need to trust yourself. Then the next 24, you got to really trust yourself on taking a new approach at something that you have failed at before. It's taking a new approach at something you have failed at before. And you can look back at the lessons. Just look back at the lessons. Trust yourself. Trust that all those lessons are there for a reason. Look at this garden. Okay, I'm just going to let you know. Well, it's not a garden. It's like all the gardening tools, okay? So if you look at this, and there's all kinds of gardening tools, right? Now, these are like all of the different lessons that are associated with whatever you're going to be facing in the next 24 hours, okay? It's like all of those lessons, okay? It's like looking at all of those lessons and going, wow, I actually have enough lessons here to know I can narrow it down to 2 things that I can do differently. I can narrow it down to the only thing I haven't tried is like that. So it's like taking your lessons, and in order to obtain the goal this time, look at all the past failures and go, okay, I didn't try this, or that. Okay? And it's gonna apply to many different areas in life for all of you guys. It's gonna be different for everyone. So you're gonna know whether it's love, it's work, it's business, you know, entrepreneurship, or if it's relationships, just relationships in general too. Sometimes it's just like our relationship with other people in our lives, like friends or family. So it doesn't necessarily have to be so deep or anything. It's just a 24-hour. So, but you do have a lot of deep-rooted lessons here. You got good lessons here that are really there to help you avoid any mistakes this time. There was this quote that I seen too recently, and it was like, when you start from scratch, it said something like, when you start from scratch, you're starting from nothing. And when you start, but when you're starting over, you're starting from a place of experience. Okay? So when you're trying to start something new, or you're trying to take a new approach at something, remember that. Remember, you're experienced in it. When you have failed at something, you are an expert at failing that thing. So you, as a person who fails this, it's an expert in it, will know what are the routes that lead to failure, and what are the routes that you haven't tried that will lead to success. It's taking a new approach when you look hindsight at old lessons. I want to say old lessons, because it's not really failures, you know. You don't really fail at something unless you completely give up. Here we go. Mountains. Mountains. I love this. Every time I get this one, it's always a different thing. So the mountains, I feel with this one is, I feel like it's all of those different little lessons put together to build you up. And now you are, like I said, the expert. You're an expert at knowing what not to do in a situation. An expert's an expert. That means that they have a lot of knowledge on something. That's all an expert is. You could be an expert in bad things and you could be an expert in good things. Now, if you're an expert at messing something up, then you know all of the ways to mess it up. And now you can start looking at all the ways to make it right, to make it work. I feel like a lot of you guys have, it's like a long, there's been a lot of little things that have not worked out, that pile into mountains. But the higher those pile, the higher you will gain when you do achieve. Okay? It's like the more you're going to gain when you're at the achieved level. Because when you're at an achieved level of something and it took you a while, you remember all the mess ups, you remember all these different inches on that mountain, you're going to appreciate being on top of the mountain. You're going to go, man, I did it. It's like that. So, and not only that, with the mountains having the snow on top, to me it feels like, because the snow is there, like it's this, when you hit it, you hit the, you know what, I didn't try this and it is a success. It's going to be one of those things where it's like, wow, it's successful. And you're going to become, there's a numbness to it, but there's not a numbness as in you're treating people numb. It's a numbness as in people possibly, I feel like it's like people that are so happy that you've achieved the top of the mountain that you're numb to the issues that could arise from achievement. And sometimes people achieve something and they change completely, and they lose sight of what the mountain was supposed to look like. And when you have this, I know it could be taken different ways, but the feeling that I'm feeling when I see this right now is I feel like it took so much to get up there, that once you get up there, you're like, nah, I'm good. I made it here. I'm really happy. And you're like, and there's a toughness to it that you don't ever want to lose yourself. A lot of you guys don't want to lose yourself. Wanting to achieve something and not lose yourself. Today's message, if I look at it all overall, it's so that way you stop today. You need to stop today. And you need to look at yourself in order to avoid anything that could turn into a repetitive pattern of not achieving something you want. You have all of the tools. If you stop and reflect, you actually have all the tools to make whatever it is successful. And I feel like you've had a lot of patience. It's speaking of patience with yourself. It's a lot of patience with yourself throughout all these different obstacles that have ever come up in your life. You've had a lot of patience with yourself in order to build yourself up to the spot that you want to be at. And today, it's just a little reminder within the next 24 hours. You may have to take a moment to just stop and reflect so you don't make a mistake on how you treat a situation, how you treat a person, how you treat yourself. Just be on the lookout for anything that is like negative. It's like a negative, maybe negative self-talk or a negative thing that you say that could like affect someone else. It's going to be different for everybody here because it's collective. But when these negative things come up, you got to pause and you got to think about, okay, I'm an expert at messing this up. What do I do to do it differently? Some of you guys, it's like that. It's like an expert at messing it up. And others of you guys, it's not an expert at messing it up, but it's an expert at not knowing how to get it right. Like you don't mess it up, but you don't get it right. It's like that. And you have all the tools to get it done. So that's about it. That was your 24. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Okay? And just remember to breathe, relax, take some time for yourself. Today, if you're in nature, I did suggest to a lot of people a garden or something, or you know, nature walks or something. But whatever you're doing today, when it pertains to nature, take that moment to reflect on how far you've come. How far you've come. Don't look in a sense of like, oh, I'm the bomb. Look in a sense of pride and humility together. You're just happy and grateful. Be happy and grateful. And I know some of you guys may think there's not something to be grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for. Because someone, somewhere in this world, did not wake up with the breath you woke up with this morning. There's always something to be grateful for. Okay? Thank you guys. Have a fantastic 24. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, give or take. Okay? I'm still trying to get better on my timing. Okay? Thank you. Bye.